I'm Just Saying is sponsored by Hover.com. Go to gfu.hover.com and get 10% off your entire purchase. FreshBooks. FreshBooks is an easy-to-use online invoicing service that saves you time, gets you paid faster, and makes you look professional. Get started completely for free at freshbooks.com. And by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook by going to audiblepodcast.com/GFQ. Everybody, welcome to I'm Just Saying episode 81, the first show of the new year. We were off last week for
and our first show in the new
studio.
How do you like it?
I love it.
Yeah, we were off last week because we weren't done.
Well, you know, everyone looks good in blue, so you know we're surrounded by blue here.
Blue is always a
blue
good,
is a good.
Although I'm
color.
wearing blue, so I'm kind of blending into the.
No,
wall.
Joe. You know what? Actually, where you're sitting is my favorite shot in the entire studio. That wall is my favorite wall.
I should have known.
But I have to tell you, people have deemed that the slam bing bong wall.
Why?
Because there's slam bing bong behind you.
Ah, okay.
And that's the punishment seat.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Why?
Nobody likes to sit on that couch.
Why?
Everybody hates it. They say it's the most uncomfortable area.
Yeah,
because
they don't sit like that.
It's because they don't sit like I do.
But you absolutely love it.
Yeah.
You were actually devastated when we changed the couch.
I was devastated. I don't like so because I like to sit like this, and I couldn't sit that comfortably in the
Also,
chairs
we've
like
talked about this often. She just does not like change.
Yeah, you were saying that last week.
Yeah, I mean.
But also then I couldn't have Aggie like right next to me.
Yeah.
And Aggie likes to sit next to me and I can pet her and she'll go to sleep.
Aggie is trying to pick up men tonight.
Yes, she is.
Particularly Andrew's brother and father.
Yes. Aggie does love them.
Although she doesn't seem to dig the youngest male in the house, Spencer.
No. Not so fond of Spencer the pup.
Yeah, well, Spencer took out his peach earlier. He got very excited to see Aggie.
She does not deal well with male dogs who are like, humping on her.
He doesn't hump.
No, he doesn't hump.
Yeah.
But he comes at her and she's very like, leave me alone.
She's an older woman. She's a little fragile.
Yeah,
and
really
he's armed.
She doesn't.
Yeah,
she doesn't want any of it.
She's like an older woman. She's
You
like an
wanna
old Hollywood.
Put that away.
Yeah, it's like really. Because we, New Year's Eve, we went up to visit a friend of mine, and they have their dog is a combination Shih Tzu, Bichon. Looks very much like Aggie, except he's white.
Only not as cute.
She's 100% Havanese.
Yeah.
100%. Okay.
He's a little bigger, but he looks really very much like Aggie, and he's male also, but he's very mellow, and he's older like her.
Okay.
So they kind of, even with him, she was a little standoffish at first.
Yeah.
But he's quiet too, and eventually, like, they started sniffing around each other and stuff, and then they were
were fine.
Yeah, they were getting along, and then they were fine. But because he didn't like jump at her, she gets scared.
Yeah.
She doesn't like that. But now they're fine together.
Well, I get scared too when people jump around at me.
Yeah, it's true. You are rather
You are
fearful.
skittish.
I am.
You are skittish.
I am skittish.
Yes, you are skittish.
My microphone actually surprises me every now and then. It hits me in the face.
Yeah.
And I've done that. I've done that like 6 times since I sat in the seat where I'm like talking to somebody and I'm like, oh my God, this thing.
So what did you do for New Year's? Did you do anything?
Yeah, we went to Jessica's friend's house, Maggie's house, for a little bit, and then we came home like right after the ball dropped. Like we were home by 12:30.
Such party animals.
Oh, it's the best. I am not a big New Year's Eve person. Like I don't get the whole thing. Like, why do you have to force yourself to stay up? Why do you have to drink in excess? Like, this is what people do. They stay up. They force their bodies. They consume as much alcohol as humanly possible, and then they complain that the next day they're hungover. It's a great way to start the year with a giant hangover.
That is true. Well, I think I think it comes from the celebration of the new year.
I don't think a lot of people were celebrating.
I think,
I think
a bunch of people wanted 2011 to be over.
Yeah.
I think so too. We went to a party up at my friend's house, and she lives in Warwick, upstate.
Mm-hmm. Where Dion lives.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Dion Warwick.
Really?
Yeah. No, I just made that up.
You're so full of shit.
I just made that up. And you're like, really? That's
I didn't get it. I'm
really
thinking
Dion in the Belmonts.
That's what I was thinking. Dion and the Belmonts. I'm like, I didn't even think he would know Dion and the Belmonts.
He still doesn't.
I still have no idea who that is.
He's saying, "Why must I be a teenager in love?" And Abraham
50s?
Martin and John.
Okay.
But it was very quiet. Like a lot of people that she invited didn't come. People are funny about going out on New Year's Eve, which is why we no longer have a New Year's Eve party.
Like, I can't believe all the idiots that go into the city and like go to Times Square and they're
I have
so
always
excited
wanted to do that.
I know, but you know they're idiots.
But you know what we should do, Andrew? We need to find. You need to get to be a really gigantic network, and we should rent a window so that we could watch it and be like on the 19th floor and just be inside and have bathrooms.
I have a friend, and he lives right around there, and his view is Times Square.
Oh, so he should like rent it out.
That's what he does.
Fortune, I'm sure.
That's what he does. He rents it out for the night.
Sure.
Or sometimes he hosts a party and he'll have like 20, 30 people show up and he charges them like $50 to get the view.
Yeah.
He makes a killing off of it.
I think it works really well. I would do
the same thing.
Yeah.
But I've always wanted to go. However, I don't know if I want to go now since 9/11 because before that, the security wasn't as nutty as it is now.
Now, let me ask you, if you go, you can't leave, right? Like, you can't go to the bathroom.
You can leave, but you can't come back.
Yeah, if you leave, you can't get back in.
So how do you go to the bathroom?
You don't.
You pee your pants. You wear a diaper.
You don't. Yeah.
Are there porta potties in there at all?
I don't know. Now, you see, that's one of the things that's different. That did not used to be true. People used to get there early, but people would mill around and hang out and go in and out of shops and wander around and eat and do the bar crawl
and then they would
stuff.
just go down and see it. Now you got to like assign seating.
Right.
Yeah, you get lodged in there and then you're locked in.
And then
sometimes even if you wanted to leave, you couldn't.
You can't get out. Yeah, that's why now it's different. It used to be there used to be apparently a lot of fun, but now I don't think I would want to go.
And it's all tourist, Andrew.
It is all tourist. None of the New Yorkers go.
No real New Yorkers go to these things.
No. But that's probably true in other countries too. It's just like when you travel, you go to all these like sites and museums and stuff that the people who live there never go to.
Yeah, and like French people don't care about the Eiffel Tower.
Right.
I'm like, it's a piece of metal. Okay, it's in the air.
Exactly.
You idiots are making a big deal out of it. Like,
right.
I've never gone to the Statue of Liberty.
Ever?
Ever?
No. Well, I am terrified of it.
Why?
Because my mother told me the Statue of Liberty is going to rape me and lure me with chocolate. Long story. Totally screwed me up.
Are you serious?
Yeah. It's a fact.
The Statue of Liberty was how could the statue? Okay.
Yeah.
We'll talk
later.
I
was terrified of George Washington for years.
The man is dead.
I know. I associated raping with him. Yeah.
The man is dead.
I have a lot of issues, Joe.
I know you do.
There's a lot of stuff going on here.
I know you do.
But I went into the city the week right after Christmas. So it was like the 29th or whatever.
It was a zoo even then.
It was a zoo.
Oh, my God. We went to the tree.
We
went to the tree.
It was crazy.
One of the worst experiences of my life. The tree, first of all, was awful. It was a short, fat, ugly tree.
It was not a short, fat, ugly tree. No,
it was the reject tree, and they felt bad.
Oh, stop.
Like calling it the reject tree. So they're like, let's highlight the ugliest tree.
Oh, stop.
Because it was awful.
It was not
So we
awful.
saw the tree.
People out there don't listen to him. The tree was not awful.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was. It was one of the worst in years. You don't think
know if
so?
It was the best, but it wasn't awful.
You saw it? Did you go see it?
Yeah,
Oh, you went.
We went. We went the Wednesday after Christmas. We went to Radio City and saw the Radio City Christmas show.
Oh, that's when we went.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we went the Wednesday right at. Yeah, it was a Wednesday.
It was cold.
Wednesday. Yeah, it was freezing.
Yes, it was cold.
Yeah, we went with a former student and her 11-year-old son. God, I am old, and saw in the Rockettes one of my other former students. She's been a Rockette for 7 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And she's now married to the guy that plays or played, because he's moved on to another show, Jerry Lee Lewis in the $1 Million Quartet.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So she took us backstage, and the boy was so excited because he got to go backstage, and plus they have the live animals from the nativity thing they do. They bring on live animals, so he was all excited because he loves animals. He got to meet he got to like pet the camel, and he was so excited. It was sweet though.
It reminded me how much I love kids that age. The kid's 11, and he's walking along, and he's kind of digging that he's with a guy because he's being raised by his mom. So I sent Mom and Joanna off to pick up the tickets because I didn't want to be late. And he stayed with me in the parking garage, and it was cars, and it was cool, and he loved it, and he knew all the names of the cars, and he was like, he was asking me what my favorite cars were, and my favorite war, and my favorite superhero.
What's your favorite war?
It's like, but my favorite
the war in Cambodia in 1986. That's my favorite war.
My favorite was when he kept going from being 4 to being like 20. In just a snap of the fingers. Like at one point he's walking along and he jumps over this puddle, and he like jumps over it like he's a superhero. And he looks up and he goes, "Do you like Iron Maiden?"
Oh no, I thought it was Megadeth.
Or Megadeth, yeah. Like,
is that what he said?
Yeah. Do you like Megadeth? And it was like, and he kept going back and forth. I kept having and go, Can we get a pretzel and margarita? It was like he kept just going back and forth.
That's so funny. Kids are weird at that age, right?
They are weird. It's like age.
The brain is just like developing
bouncing off the wall
in like certain moments.
Yeah, it's well, they are. They're in. They're not quite adults or even really quite adolescents yet. Yeah. But they want to be, but they're not. So they vacillate between being children and babies, and then trying to be older. But he was cute. He's a good boy, and they had a good time. He had a lot of fun. He was all excited. It was man, are they cranking out the money there with that show? Oh,
I mean, it's amazing to me that people still go to see that show.
Oh, well, my God!
Again, it's no one from in town.
Right.
It's all people
it's
who
all,
like European. A lot of Europeans. Was it always like that?
No.
I mean, New York.
No.
So I went that Wednesday when I was in there.
Shitloads
First
of Europeans.
Of all, you couldn't drive. I mean, it was awful.
Shitloads of Europeans.
How large is a shitload?
It's big.
I think like a duffel bag of shit. That's like a shitload. Right? Joe, what do you think?
No, I'm thinking a truck.
Oh, you thinking like
one
a
of
truck?
Those manure trucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a
shitload. We went there and we couldn't walk. And then I'm looking, I'm like, blonde, blue-eyed, blonde, blue-eyed, blonde, blue-eyed. I'm like,
no, we actually had done the Fifth Avenue thing, to see the windows and all of that.
Like a week before.
Like a couple of days before.
Because Joe had an audition and we were right off Fifth Avenue, so he said, "Let's go look at the stores.
We might as well stay." And oh my God, I mean, I go into the city. I go into New York to see the windows and stuff. I've worked in Manhattan every year. I have never, ever in my lifetime seen it this crowded. It was absolutely insane. It was insane. We went into Saks and we couldn't get out. We couldn't get out the door.
Do you think it's like that every year at that time? I think so, right?
Yeah, no, but I'm telling you, Andrew, I don't think I've ever seen it quite this crazy.
But there were no Americans. And what was wild is, I got to ask you, Andrew, if you were a clerk in a store and Joe and or I walked up to you, would you assume we had money?
Well, I wasn't dressed like this.
No, and
wearing those pajama pants? Yes, actually.
Yes, I was wearing the pajama pants, but the same ones.
No, I was dressed nicely.
No, but would you assume we had money?
By looking at you guys. Well, you guys are put together and you're articulate, so I would say...
we walked into Tiffany's, and this woman is showing us $64,000 bracelets.
Yeah,
okay, we went into...
I think it's the way that Joe carries herself sometimes.
I think we went into, was it Bonwitz? Or Bergdorf's?
Yeah, Bergdorf.
It was Bergdorf's. Okay. For those of you out there, Bergdorf is a sort of high-end department store. Yeah. So we go into Bergdorf's, mostly to look at the decorations and stuff, because it's
like the windows.
Yeah, and inside, like the first floor is decorated beautifully, and all the jewelry is on the first floor. So I love to look at jewelry.
Yes, you do.
I do. I love to look at jewelry, mostly for the. I wouldn't even buy half of it. It's just for the artistry of it. I love to look at gems and stuff. So, and stones. So, we go up to this one counter. Now I know the stuff's going to be expensive, okay, but I saw these rings in colors that I had never seen before.
The orangish stone?
Yes, the first one that caught my eye was there was this stone that was like the color of a tangerine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And it was beautiful color. And I said, what kind of stone is that? So they said, oh, that's a tourmaline. And I forget the name of it, but she told me the name of it. Right next to it was another couple of rings with a stone that was the color of Caribbean water. You
like
know
that turquoise blue?
Yes, that like sea blue, green, yes, and clear. And I went, ooh. I said, what is this? She said, it's also a tourmaline. I said, really? So she said, yeah. So I said, I've never seen anything this color. I said, are these natural? She said, yes, they are. So I said, I saw one, and I picked the small one, okay? I said, could I possibly try that one on? It's a small ring. It was not.
So
a
what
big
are you
ring.
thinking? What the price is? Like, what in your mind? Like, what are you guessing?
I'm thinking like it's like $4 or $5 grand, kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
You were thinking that, like, okay.
I'm thinking, no, I was thinking more than that because it had a ring of diamonds, of small diamonds around it. I'm thinking it's like 12, 15.
Okay.
Okay. So I put the thing on and I said, might I ask how much this is? $99,000.
Are you kidding me?
No. $99,000.
It was on sale.
Yeah, it was on sale.
I was like,
from 128.
Yeah. I was like, okay, you can take it off now. Like, I was afraid to keep it on my hand. I was like, and it was not big. It was not big.
For $99,000, like, you kind of want like a diamond, like a something that people know that it's $99,000
of the ring of this ring that I'm wearing right now.
Really?
Yes.
So I guess it's more of a precious stone than diamonds.
It is. I said, why is it so expensive? And she said, because they're extremely rare. They found them someplace in Africa, and I think Madagascar, the island of Madagascar, but the mine in Africa is pretty much tapped out, and the one in Madagascar is small, and they so far have not found them anywhere else yet. So if they don't find them anywhere else, it will then be worth like quadruple that much because they're so rare. I would be afraid to wear the stupid thing. I was like,
California was the largest producer of tourmaline in the early 1900s.
It depends. I mean, there's still a lot of tourmalines out there that are actually not very expensive at all because they're much more common. But I was like, $99,000.
Mozambique sells over $5,000 per carat.
Yeah.
Was it Mozambique?
Yeah.
Maybe it was Mozambique, the island that they found them on. No, not Madagascar. Maybe it was Mozambique. But I was like, oh my God. So,
she's like, I have to take this off.
I was like, yeah, I have to take this off.
Not because she loved it, because she was just afraid having it
was gorgeous. I did love it. But I mean, I was like.
Let's see. Amazon has tourmaline. Let's see how much it is on Amazon.
It depends on the color, though.
Yeah, I wonder if you went to like Costco to their jewelry counter.
So this one's $679, and then you have a tourmaline round bracelet for $89. But like, I'm sure these are like crappy.
Right.
This is tourmaline light.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I knew that it was a good stone because you could see right through it. I mean, the clarity was unbelievable. I mean, it was practically transparent.
And they had like synthetic tourmaline also.
Right.
Like a fake tourmaline.
Right, exactly. These were real.
It was green. It was like a green tourmaline. Yeah.
Yes, but it was a very
expensive.
Unusual color.
Yeah, this is $1,500, $1,400.
He's a tourmaline zirconia. Yeah.
So we were kind of like, but it was. I have never seen the city that crowded at Christmas, and at Radio City, oh my God, they were just, the show is about 90 minutes, no intermission, and they are just cranking people through there. It's like,
they did 5 shows a day.
Yeah.
Suncast in our chat says you could buy a building in Detroit with that kind of money. You could buy all of Detroit with that kind of money.
Yeah, then you'd have to.
But why would you? Sorry.
Be in Detroit.
Suncast. No.
We've actually been to what's the town just north of Troy, Michigan?
We have a friend who used to live there, and we visited, and she left because she hated it.
She went back to Arizona.
She couldn't wait to leave.
It's so funny how like they price these things, right? Like, how do we really know how much a diamond is? Like, with that many diamond rings being sold, like, how do we really know the value of this thing?
You don't really. I mean, you can go to an appraiser. There are people who do that.
I know, but they appraise it based on what, though? I mean, I know they've set like a price, but like it's phony baloney stuff. I mean,
well, no, it's not. I mean, they judge it on size and clarity. And
well, they're going based on it being rare. That's why it's expensive.
Yes, but it's also I mean, when you judge a stone, the price of a stone, its size, clarity, and defects.
Yeah, no. I know, like how they price them. Yeah. But to me, it's like a big scam because rarity. But like, add up how many diamonds they've sold, like in the history, and how many are around. Everybody has a diamond ring, so how can it be so rare if everybody has a diamond ring?
Well, yeah, they're not.
You know what I mean? Like it's a number that was instituted, true. and that's what everybody follows.
True.
Like, we don't know what's in the ground.
No, we really don't. But you do know that if you buy diamonds, you should make sure that they're conflict free, right?
Oh no, I go for conflict diamonds. Those are the ones I want.
Andrew. No.
It adds a story.
Andrew.
Adds personality.
No.
No? Okay.
Everybody out there, don't listen to him. No, you should really make sure that they're conflict free.
People give an arm and a leg for those.
Do you think most, but like, yeah, I guess, well, most of these like Zales and stuff, they're conflict free.
Mm-hmm. But
like, if you go into like, in the city.
Right.
It's like
but I always ask. I always.
Do they show you papers?
They will give you papers, yeah.
Do you demand them?
Do I demand them?
I want to see your papers.
I have not been in the market for a sizable diamond, so I...
You just sounded like Auntie P.
I haven't. I did.
No, he did.
Oh. I haven't been in the market. If I was buying a large diamond or large diamonds, I would.
I wonder, like, I'm assuming now it's not that big of a deal. Like, most places don't have conflict. They don't have blood.
No, most big companies know better. Yeah, and they're conflict free. But if you're buying from an individual, jeweler or something like that, you should always make sure.
People always say, like the big names, like, oh, why would you go there? You could get a ring for so much cheaper if you go to like a jeweler in the city. That is true, but
you don't know what you're getting.
You don't know what you're getting. And like,
yeah,
we bought at one of like the main stores, and I got a really good deal on it. But we have insurance on it. Mm-hmm. Like, if we lose the diamond, like they replace the diamond. It's a whole, like, we have like a lot of stuff on our
which is smart. Yeah, which is smart. But so that was our little sojourn into the city over Christmas. And well, see, my mother used to take me to see the Radio City Christmas show every year when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. So when I was like 14, I was like, I'm not going anymore. So
by the time I met her, she was like, no, never going.
Yeah, he wanted to go, and I was like, no, I'm not going. So
I never went without her. So I said, I got to find someone. So I found one of my former students and her kids. So I got to be like, fill in dad and fill in granddad.
And we took them. But the show's completely different than it used to be.
But she wasn't going to go. Still.
No, I wasn't going to go.
I mean, what did they change? Like
it's totally different.
Okay.
Oh, I guess they have to. It's all. There's a 3D segment. There are 3D glasses. The numbers are insane.
Did you ever see the show?
No.
Okay.
No, because he doesn't go to theater.
That's right. He doesn't.
Because the Rockettes were going to rape him.
That's right. The Rockettes were going to rape him.
I've gone to Broadway plays, and I did go to the movies on Christmas Eve.
That's true.
I went to
What'd
the movies.
you see?
We saw the dragon tattoo.
We saw it.
We saw that.
By the way,
you didn't like it, right?
No, I liked it.
No, we liked it.
Okay. The girl.
Yeah.
She and I have the same acting teacher.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw a play of his. He directed Friday night.
Yeah. They actually, it was done. The movie was made in 2009, and it was a Swedish version.
Right.
Right.
And they took the exact movie, and they just made it American.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. I mean, the casting is nearly identical in every possible way.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Even down
I heard they changed some parts. Who was talking about that they had changed?
Maybe they meant from the book?
From the book, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. From the book, it's a little different, but the characters, and the American version was a lot more brutal. Like that rape scene.
Yeah.
Was like way like they were pushing it.
Typical.
Yeah. I'm surprised though, because sex is taken out of film.
I know.
In American movies.
I know. That's true. That is true.
Like there's no rated R movies. Like before, if you went to a rated R movie, you knew you were going to see like a sex scene. Now it's like
everything's been so sanitized. Oh my God.
There's a great documentary. It's on Netflix, and it's about the film industry and how it's changed because of the rating system.
Mm-hmm.
And
right, I heard about this.
Okay, so the way they do it is it's a very hush hush thing. Like the way, let's say you made a movie. Mm-hmm. Your movie goes to the screening. I guess it's whatever the organization. The MPAA, I guess it does it.
Yeah, I guess.
The rating system. So it's like a theater of like 8 or 9 people, and you start listing, bad parts, good parts, how many times somebody cursed, it's like they take stats. Right. And then they base their ratings on, the room. Mm-hmm. But let's say the room says, no, I don't feel that there was anything wrong. There's one guy that governs all of them. It's like their manager, and she could decide on her own. And most of the time, it's her one decision that deems a movie NC-17 or rated R.
Really?
And the things that you would think would deem a movie NC-17 are not what make it NC-17.
Oh, I know. Some of their judgment calls are really bizarre.
Yeah, really weird stuff. Like it could be a guy and a girl sex scene. Mm-hmm. If it's a girl scene, there can be no like climax.
Really?
Yeah. Weird stuff. Like weird. Like if your facial reaction is a little too much, mm-hmm. Then they deem it NC-17 and you're screwed. You got to take it out of your film. The board, like let's say now you appeal it, right? You say no, my movie is not inappropriate. It's fine. You go in front of a panel, and the panel has different like special interest groups, including a Catholic priest.
Oh God. We're doomed.
Like it's and this movie, pretty much what they did, they outed everybody. They like somehow infiltrated it because he was doing a movie. He was doing a documentary, and like he went through the process. I forgot the exact thing. He went through the process and he exploited everybody and outed everybody's name. It's a very interesting movie. I gotta find the name.
I would like to see that.
Yeah, if somebody in the chat room knows, let us know.
I would like to see that.
Really good, but it's such baloney.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
It's like a ridiculous system.
It's ridiculous because I know that I've seen
this film is not yet rated. That's the name of the movie.
I've seen things where I'm like, really? That's what this was rated? And then other things that, I mean, if I were a parent, which I'm not, but if I were a parent, I would not want my kid to see, and they're rated like PG-13.
Well, what they're doing now,
PG.
What they're able to do now, and it's better for, let's say you make a movie and your movie gets an NC-17 rating, right? You take out the scene and you capitalize on it and you say, well, look, we got an NC-17 rating. Here's the DVD, the unedited DVD.
Right.
And you don't need a rating for the DVD.
Right.
And you sell more because people
Everyone
want to see, oh my God, what was it?
Yeah,
what was
exactly.
it?
They used to, when we were younger, they used to go, with 17 minutes not before scene in the movie. And sometimes you'd go, gee, I think there was a reason those 17 minutes weren't in the movie.
Well, look at Apocalypse Now. They added like an extra hour to the movie. And it was one of the best, I think it was like Redo, right?
Redo, yes.
Redo. Did you see the remake?
No.
Like they added a scene. There's a scene where
you know what I think? The documentary about the making of
really good
is really good.
Yeah.
What's it called? Heart of Darkness?
Yeah. That's one of my favorite movies, by the way. I watched the second one that they put out for the anniversary, and there's a scene where they're sitting in like some French guy's house and they're eating, right? And they're talking about the war and what's happening. And in one scene, they put it on Martin Sheen, and it's daylight. They're having lunch. The other scene, it's like he's talking, goes to you, comes back to Martin Sheen, and it's pitch dark. It's nighttime, and then it goes back to you, and it's daytime.
Oh, God.
It was so bizarre, and I'm like, why would they put this in?
Continuity is so amazing. Do you remember, we went to see a taping of Everybody Loves Raymond. We were out in Hollywood once. Because my friend from college is the executive producer, a guy named Phil Rosenthal. Raymond kept picking on the continuity girl because all the continuity girl does is memorize what everything looked like when they hollered cut.
Right.
Like the amount of liquids in glasses, where people were positioned,
Oh, really? I didn't know
where
that.
people's hair were, whether someone's shirt became a little more untucked while they broke, because sometimes people will do that, or someone like just loosens their collar while they're on break. She memorizes all this and puts everything back. Okay. And Raymond just kept going, "This is your job. This is your job." Like this minute detail. And he was like taunting her because this is her job. She had like an incredible.
I mean, that has to be hard.
She had an incredible eye for detail.
Job. Yeah.
It's a very difficult thing because they break for like an hour or two sometimes, and they got to come back and they got to pretend like it never happened.
Right.
Yeah,
a lot of times they'll take pictures along the way.
When they do a film,
she needs to have that affliction that Mary Lou Henner has. That. Do you know Mary Lou Henner remembers everything?
Yeah,
like
she's
everything.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Like, if she were here tonight, she would remember everything we said.
Yeah.
What we were wearing, the order of what she has. It's this weird affliction. They did a series about a girl with it called like Unforgotten.
Unforgettable.
Well, I mean, in acting, you have to remember. I mean, it's
she
a lot
remembers
of memorization.
Everything.
No, but there's an actual condition.
Can
where
you imagine
people don't forget anything?
She's been married a long time. I got to give the guy that she's married to credit.
God.
Because can you imagine? Come on, Andrew. Can you imagine being married to a woman who remembers everything?
I mean, that's kind of good and bad, right? Would you want to do that? Would you want to be able to remember everything?
No.
Why?
Because there's a lot of things that are better off forgotten.
Yeah, because you know what?
I remember too
she
much
forgets.
as it is.
I was going to say she forgets. She would never let anything go.
No.
But you know what else? I think like over time, things become a better experience.
Oh, that's true. That is true.
like that party you went to in high school.
Right.
I had a party in high school here. I think we had just become seniors, and we had this party, and it was an okay party. Like I remember the party the way it was because I was hosting it, but it became this legendary party.
Right.
And things that never happened. Like people are like, oh my God, do you remember when the guy did blah 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 blah? And I'm like, that never happened. Mm-hmm. It's like he took the chair and he threw the chair on the wall. I'm like, he fell. He sat on the chair and the chair broke.
Oh yeah, I threw a hammer at a kid once.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
Well, you've said on a book. I know the book story.
Well,
he threw a hammer, but not at the kid. He did throw a hammer.
You threw a shoe. You threw a shoe.
I did.
He was chasing a student. The student's shoe came off, and he took the shoe and he threw it at the kid. One of the greatest things I've ever seen.
He did throw a hammer.
People never knew I could run as fast.
People didn't know you were that out of your mind.
Oh yeah,
that's true too.
And then I'd come back smiling.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I think weirded them out most, because I'd come back going, so what Shakespeare was saying was, and people would be like in the class like,
do you remember when one of the doctors that I used to go to, his dad was taught in one of what used to be called the 700 schools or the 600 schools. We used to have schools for the
dumping
bad
ground
kids,
for the bad kids.
Yeah.
And
I think they still have it. I think it's Whitestone Academy now.
Yeah.
They had to privatize it, but
really.
it's pretty much the same thing.
And you could never get away with this now, but what his father used to do, his father used to keep a bucket with a big sponge next to him, a big wet sponge, and if the kid was annoying him, he would
whip the sponge
at the kid and hit him in the head.
I had a teacher in high school that used to be able to throw erasers while facing the blackboard and hit the right kid.
Oh, that's amazing.
He was amazing. He had like peripheral vision like a fish, and he used to sit there and just pick up a eraser while he was talking and throw it over one, and it would and you know what a chalk eraser hitting your face looks like? You get the mark of an eraser on your face, and there's no way to
the mark of Cain.
But there's no way to like live through that with dignity when you have a big eraser mark on your face, slap of an eraser.
Funny.
Oh yeah, it was kind of
cool.
But
you wouldn't want to have like one of the things like
I would love to have a photographic memory for
yes.
Actually, photographic memory now has a new term. They're calling
it's like some syndrome. It's like a
like, is it called like anatemic memory? Is that something? It's something like that.
I'm not sure, but yes, to be able to memorize.
There's an actress now, like a well-known actress now, that has a photographic memory.
Yeah, to be able to memorize lines and stuff, to just like pick it up and know it. Yeah,
I went to school.
I would love to have that.
That would be wonderful.
That would be on my resume, because the day the guy croaks playing King Lear. It's like I can do it, because I'll read it once and boom, I'm
ready.
I had a friend in high school, and the guy he wasn't like a smart kid. Like when you. Like they were like the really smart kids with the AP classes. This kid, he was brilliant, but like he didn't want it to be known.
Mm-hmm.
But he would actually, and like they do it on TV, like somebody, like in the movie where like the girl's like reading the book in Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, and she has like a photographic memory.
Yeah,
that's how he was. Like when he would read a text, he would just look at the page. Boom, next. Boom, next. Boom, next. And it wasn't BS. Like, the guy was just brilliant. No, people can do that.
There are people who can do that. I would love to be able to do that. That would be cool. That would be, like, a useful skill.
My problem is, like, Jessica says I'm like Rain Man. I know, like, crazy things. Like, I catalog music in my head.
Okay.
And I know what year a certain song came out in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know the who produced it. I know the record label. Like I know like weird things like with the Beatles.
But
like,
you can't find your car keys.
But I can't find my car keys. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of typical.
I'm like autistic.
That's kind of typical.
You're an autistic ninja.
I'm an autistic ninja.
Barbara was right.
So
we should have Barbara in here to do predictions for the year.
We should.
Yeah, we should. We'll get her in next week.
Yeah. Well,
we should. I'll give her a call.
You're an autistic ninja. Did you say I'm autistic? No. Like from weeks, I'm like, oh my gosh, he said I was an autistic ninja in my past life. What would that have been like?
We have
to live that experience.
Definitely gonna stab you. Definitely.
It's like a ninja that like creeps in your house and counts everything. Like what would that experience be like?
She did want to lick you like a marshmallow, though.
That's one of the greatest clips ever.
No, the best part was Jessica's face.
Yeah, I would like just a picture. Just look like. She was, they used the expression bug-eyed. Jessica was bug-eyed.
She really was.
Well, that was a surprise coming out of Barbara.
I know.
Who knew the Barbara had it bad for you, Andrew?
Yes, really. But well, Barbara comes out with things. I'll tell you, she certainly did when we were on our trip.
I don't know. I kind of would like to remember everything.
Okay.
I don't think so. I don't think I would.
Would you want to forget anything?
Yeah, you know what? That's an interesting question. Like, would I want to forget anything? I guess not.
I know this whole is like, it is who you are and it's everything that you know and everything you've experienced, combines to make you. But I had asked the question on Facebook because I wanted to talk about it. I don't know where it came from, but I was talking about unlearning something. If you could unlearn anything, would there be anything that you would want to unlearn? And most people said they'd like to unlearn fear.
Yes, I would like to unlearn fear.
I would like to not be, wouldn't you like to not be afraid of the Statue of Liberty?
But you kind of have to be afraid of things.
Well, no, I'm not saying all fear. I'm not saying get rid of fear
total. Any fear except those that protect me. Yeah, because you're right. You should fear certain things. Like if you're walking down the street and somebody is hovering too close to you or something like that and you're by yourself, that fear, that trigger that goes off, that's what protects you and saves you.
Nicely or not, I think our parents instilled, honey, think your parents instilled a couple of fears in you? I only get to
oh my God, like
please.
And here's the difference between me and my brothers. I really don't travel to the city.
Mm-hmm.
And that's part of like a fear that I have. Like I don't take the subway. Like I just don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
My brothers, on the other hand, go in and out of the city all the time.
They think nothing of it.
They think nothing of it. But I have a different idea of taking a subway, taking a bus, and taking public transportation and being out in the city. It's just a different mindset that I have.
Yeah.
But that also comes from a different time. Like when I was a kid, the city was a bad place.
Yes, I was going to say that it has changed a lot. The city was, when you were growing up, the city really was a lot more dangerous than it is now.
I mean, I'm trying to think when I was going into the city, Times Square still had that stigma. Like it was cleaned up, but you always felt weird about going to Times Square. Like it was still like not all the sex places had closed down yet, and it was still like there was still a couple people that like, it's a little fugazi that guy.
There was still little CDs.
Do you remember when they did Real Sex did a special on a sex shop that was on the corner of like 7th Avenue and 40th Street? Remember, it was there for years.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And it was run by this lovely couple. They were a lovely Jewish couple, like in their 70s. Yeah. And they ran a sex shop. And they kept just cutting back and forth.
Jewish couple.
And they kept going, hey, where did we put that case of paddles? Where did we put the paddles? I can't find the paddles. and they were just talking about it and said, I had a friend that had a joke shop, and then this kind of thing happened. And go this, and they kept interviewing their kids, and every shot was just the kid like.
The kids were like mortified,
and the kids wanted nothing to do with it.
Nothing.
But the kids were like smart enough to know that this sex shop put them through college,
right?
Yeah. But they wanted nothing to do with it.
But it's like. This one is called a tickler. It's a beautiful thing, and we sell many of them in our marital aid department.
We were like peeing in our pants.
And then remember, I had a dream about some couple that we met. We met like the nicest couple in the world.
Harry, where's the insertion click?
Right. In my dream, this couple got confused with the elderly couple that owned the sex shop. And
in your dream?
Yeah, in my dream. And
you
so
were
there
dreaming of them?
Yeah. So this nice like Midwest couple that were coming in going, Lon, Joanna, come on in. Have we shown you the dildos? They're lovely. You really should check them out. We have them displayed on the dining room table. And it's like, it was really weird. I woke up laughing from the dream.
He woke up laughing.
I woke up like,
and we saw them shortly afterwards. We went somewhere and we ran into them, and he kept having to turn away.
You have to excuse me for
stop laughing.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah, I would definitely unlearn fear.
Yeah.
I was my entire family is very insular. They don't get along, and the only person in their life is their mate.
Yeah, you really don't evolve as a person when that's the case.
And because my mother never had friends. My mother had no friends. She had her children. That's it. So that when we went off and did like unspeakable things like get married,
how dare you?
She was
she's taking it personally.
Well, yeah, I am, ask my mom, I am married to a complete bitch.
Well, that's great though.
It kind of sucks. Well, because I was very close to my mom growing up. I was the oldest kid at home.
Well, I think you're always marrying a bitch when it's not anything that your mother's not.
Yeah.
I think they'll always gonna be like, "What do you mean you're making him wear red pants?"
Yeah.
What do you mean? What do you mean Lonnie's wearing a green shirt? Lonnie never wore green. Lon doesn't like green.
Yeah, it's hard, and especially that she raised him a great deal by herself. There's a
learning a whole bunch about Lon tonight.
You would think
somebody actually said
after 25 years though.
She
would have gotten used to it.
I had been pulling away in my own way for a couple of years.
But I mean, you've said that for a while that you're like the black sheep.
My own family refers to me as the white sheep of the family.
The white sheep of the family.
Because they're so all dysfunctional. Yeah. And I'm like, I went to high school and I graduated and went to college and got a job. And the rest of my family didn't do that.
And then I bought a house.
The rest of my family did not do that.
No, they did not. But my parents instilled a lot of fear. My parents were...
that's what parents do.
Everything was going to cause a fire.
Yeah, my father was one of the most fearful people.
Did we ever tell you he used to pull up on the... if I walked between him... when he was using the remote control and the TV, he would pull up like it was going to laser me.
Yeah, I know.
Well, like I had that fear too with the with fire and like the gas being on and the lights not working, because I grew up with my house, my parents, my brothers, my grandmother, my grandfather, and my great grandmother.
Oh my God.
So my mother was always worried that they were going to leave the gas on. They were going to leave, there was going to be a fire. Because she had to look after them. But I have that mindset now. Like, the door isn't locked. Maybe somebody opened the door. Mm-hmm. I'll get up 6-7 times, and I'll check if the door is locked. I'll check if the gas is on. I'll check if the lights are on. Like, it's one of those things that it's been kind of instituted in me.
A little OCD there.
It's a little OCD, but I understand why she did it. She did it because there were these older people that really would forget things. And my grandfather many times, started cooking something and left it.
Yeah. Well, yes, that is true. They do that.
I have that fear. I've always had that fear.
Oh.
Like something's going to catch on fire. Somebody in chat, somebody messaged me actually, and he said, if you could forget 9/11, can you? Because I've been pretty candid about how I stopped going out after 9/11. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of the places and things that I do, like I totally became a little bit more sheltered. Mm-hmm. I became like an introvert. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't really go places. Mm-hmm. I guess maybe I would. Like if you could forget that, would you forget it?
No.
Because it affected my life. I have some sort of post-traumatic stress from it.
Yeah. It sounds like you do. No, I wouldn't forget it. I wouldn't forget it. I think it's important to remember.
But see, like if you forget something, should you forget fear? Should you forget bad things?
No, I don't think so. I don't think you should.
Because it kind of builds who you are, right? Like those bad events have created the person that you are, good and bad.
Yeah. So I mean, the trick in life, I think, is to learn to put them in their proper place and deal with them and move on.
Well, same goes with relationships, right? I mean, there are a lot of people that are really hung up when they get heartbroken.
Right.
Coco, I'll give you an example. Coco broke up with a girl that he was seeing, and he was very angry over the weekend on a Friday of the way that the girl did it. The girl sent him a text message saying, "I'm seeing someone else. I can't see you anymore."
That's pretty shitty.
Pretty shitty.
Yeah.
And we just destroyed her on the air for 2 hours, and he felt great after that. But
it's a pretty shitty thing to do.
Yeah.
To someone. Yeah.
But I've created this thing in my head where I don't get affected by things like that. Like I don't have like, oh my God, I got heartbroken by an ex-girlfriend. That never existed with me. Like even with people like in my life, like if I don't see somebody again, I'm like, oh, don't see him. Like I'm able to just turn it off.
What if something happened to Jess?
I'd probably turn it off.
I don't think so.
No, I probably would.
I don't think so.
I think it's like a defense mechanism, and I think that we build that.
You might turn, if you did, it would be so damaging to
me.
Yes. It would be so damaging because you would be, see, the thing is, when you try to bury something like that as a defense, it's still there. It's still there and it still affects you. You don't think it does, but it does.
And like 15 years later, you're like driving down backwards I-95 with a hooker in your trunk and doing lines of blow on the steering wheel. That's when you're like, oh my God, this is why I'm doing this.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what I'll be doing, by the way.
Or there's no, like you would have, let's say, a complete inability to develop any closeness to anybody else because the fear is so great of being hurt again, but you don't deal with it.
Do you think we're built like, and you guys are the right people to ask for this because you guys know a lot of shit, as somebody's told me once. Lon and Joanna, I like their show. They know a lot of shit.
Thank you.
Yeah.
A shitload, actually.
A shitload, actually.
Shitload. We know a shitload of shit.
But do you think we are born with these character traits? Like someone that's like an asshole? Like, you know what I mean? Like, are you born that way? Like, do you have that in you or
I think
do you develop it?
In a way, I believe you do in that. Everything, every quality, every action has a positive view of it and a negative view in that, like someone who's aggressive can be pushy. And I think a person probably has that in them. It's what life does to them that turns it from either aggressive to pushy. You know, it's the personality. Because I think in the end, we make choices about the things that happen to us. Something that I always say to people, you know, there are people that want to be happy. And I was like, if you want to be happy, you have to choose to be. You know, it's a choice. And I think a lot of these things that you're talking about are a choice.
If you look at babies, from the very beginning, babies already have a distinct personality.
Yeah.
They do. There are babies who cry. There are babies who are quiet. There are babies who are very friendly. There are babies who are more timid. So I think there's a certain amount of your core personality that's in your DNA. But I think Lonnie's right. What happens is then you're affected by life and your parents and all of that. And it's where that trait goes. Does it blossom? Does it become negative or does it become positive?
Yeah, I think we have things in us and our life situations and what we decide about it.
Yeah.
Make it positive or negative.
Yeah.
Very interesting stuff, though.
Because she kind of marveled, and at one point, I don't know, at one point in her marriage, she just goes, "You really just are a nice person, aren't you?" like accusatory, because a bomb could go off, and I'd go, "Look, it created this great new hole."
Yeah.
That's kind of who I am. Yeah. She'll go, "I can't believe someone blew a hole in the side of our house," and I'm like, "Well, yeah, but now we don't have to do anything for the extension, on the house.
Okay,
half the work is done.
Little one, calm
or
down.
What an opportunity to."
It's okay, Aggie. It's okay.
I know. Look
it's
at
okay.
this.
It's okay.
Spencer, stop it.
Spencer, come here. Spencer, come here. Spencer.
Excuse us, people.
Yeah.
We're having a puppy problem.
Okay, lover. Spencer.
Poor Spence.
Poor Spence.
But it is time to wrap it up.
It is.
Go to our website, guysfromqueens.com. Also go to Shim's site, gfqlive.tv. We have all our shows archived on our website. So if you miss any of our shows, you can check it out there. Until next time.
Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
I'm just saying.
Good night, guys.